Welcome back to another video. This video is still about updates that I've made to this creative world because it's been way too long since I've made videos about all this stuff. Last video we went over like all the farms. This video is going to be more about the technical things, all the redstone and whatnot, as you can see with this sea of redstone here. And I don't know if you guys have noticed or not, but in that intro for the last two videos, the little sequence there of the world without shaders and then with shaders, the cuts with the shaders on, it is so laggy. I think I was probably at maybe 3 or 4 frames a second. And I think that's because of all the redstone here, all the redstone torches and repeaters and comparators, all that stuff is light sources, and I think it's trying to render all that stuff in. So it with this sea of redstone here, I think it's making it really lag out really bad with shaders on. But without shaders it's perfectly fine because I did design all this stuff here to be as lag friendly as possible as far as redstone goes by making as little possible as I could of active redstone. So most of the redstone that you see is inactive, so it's not causing too much lag just by being there. It's the active redstone that causes most of the lag. So, but let's get into the video. The skyscraper here is kind of interesting because you can look up, it looks a lot bigger from the inside looking up and whatnot. I don't know. I like it. I think it's a decent size. If you compare it to actual skyscrapers in real life, it's actually really small. Like it's really short and it's not very wide compared to actual skyscrapers. So, but anyways, you have like a little staircase and stuff, and there'll be water bubble vaders here that will take you up to different levels, and you can drop down and whatnot. But you can see like kind of where I'm laying out a few little floor plans. So, but then it goes all the way up, and up at the very top there will be a penthouse. So this bubble vader here is actually for items coming from the farm or coming from the storage system that I've been designing for the last probably 2 or 3 years. But yeah, so the penthouse will be up here, and so items, I can select penthouse and it'll send items all the way up to here. Did a little bit of designing. I don't know if I like it or not. We'll see. But so you come down here, and here you can look out upon the sea of redstone, and this is the storage system. So you can take off and, you know, got an elytra, you can fly. You can see there's plenty of room underneath the streets to where you can fly around and find what you need to find. Or you can go this way here. You have like this balcony area. So it doesn't matter which corner you come in, doesn't matter what door you go in or what corner you go to come down or whatever, it will take you down to the same spot. But come down here. So the lore behind the world and the survival world is that the crater that I'm building, the giant hole that I'm digging in my survival world, it's supposed to be like a crater, right? And the lore is that I'm going to be using the Ender Dragon egg as like the meteorite that created that crater. And so this is going to be the room. Now that's my bot account, but the actual Ender egg will go right there. You can't actually see, you can spawn in Ender mites and whatnot, but you can't actually have the Ender Dragon egg in creative, which is kind of weird. So I can't actually put it right there, but it'll be right there where my bot account player is at. So if you come down here, this is just like where you can get it from. So you have to, in order to break it, you have to have both of these on, push like that, and it just pushes a piston to break the egg. Come down here and you can see there'll be other bubble vaders for different things, going up and down and whatnot. And then all the way down here. Now this is the platform that a lot of you are familiar with if you watch the streams a lot, even though I haven't really streamed a whole lot lately. So one major thing that has changed is that I had a fault logging system down here. I removed that because it's no longer needed. I have a better system that I'm using. It has to do with what all this stuff is over here, but well, we'll get to that in a different video. So a lot of these farms are done. There's a few little tweaking that needs to be done. Obviously, the actual design of the buildings need to happen, but some of these blocks are still completely blank. But I do have plans for most of them. There's a few that I don't have any plans for, but like over here is going to be the ocean side, right? So if I gotta look at it from here. So over here, this will be like the docks, what I'm going to be calling the docks. I'm going to have mob farm here. I'm going to have auto farms here that make like carrots and whatnot. Just a general mob farm to get like arrows and whatnot from. Over here, I'm going to have like a zoo and aquarium. This will be the slime farm. This actually, this has to be this block right here because there's a perfect spot that has 4 slime chunks all clumped together, and it fits perfectly right inside of this block. And then over here will be what I'm calling the power station, but I'll go over why this could be like the electrical station or like a telecom station, that sort of thing, when I go over all that stuff in a different video. Here I'm going to have a museum, so it still leaves certain blocks that are empty for right now, so I gotta find some use for them. So this side here, this will be like the side that I want to end up making a like the living area, right? So this is like the inner city, so this is where everyone goes to work, but then there needs to be where everyone lives. And so I think a lot of these blocks here will start to be like apartment buildings, and then it's going to go up a cliff and be like this giant, this kind of mountainside city where everyone actually lives, all the apartments and whatnot. And then I'm also going to have a penthouse over there in addition to the penthouse up here in this giant tower. And I'm going to have other stuff that's going back and forth from there to communicate and drop off different information and items and whatnot. So street names are actually important in this. It's not just, I don't need street names just to have some way to, like, for videos or whatever, to say, oh, I'm on this street now. It's actually going to have a functional use. So all that has to happen is there's these little hoppers here, and those are just item filters. Let me find one that actually has instructions on them. Let me go over here because I know this intersection here has some, like, to go this way. So I'm calling this Bone Meal Avenue. So this little street right here that goes along 2 blocks, this is Bone Meal Avenue because this is the bone meal, and this is where all the carts will come in to go into the bone meal farm. So, and then here is bone meal. So, and then once all the carts come into here, then they will either default to come all the way over here, or if it needs to go into one of these 2, then it will say bone meal pickup 1 or bone meal pickup 2. And so as those carts, now that they're to their destination, they've emptied all their instructions. So now they need new instructions on how to get back, but they need their instructions first before they pick up items, just to make sure that the instructions are there before they take off. So here's the instructions on how it gets back. So Notch Street, had to name one after Notch. And Charwood goes into the charcoal and wood farm over there. So to demonstrate this, let's just send this cart then. Where's it at? There it is, over here. So let's say It's now empty. No more bone meal. I gotta get rid of all of this bone meal and this. So there the cart goes. Here it's gained all of its instructions, as you can see here. And so if you follow the cart, it defaults here, comes through here. Now, if it didn't have any instructions here, it will just keep going straight. But here it got the instructions to turn left here onto this street. So I'm not sure what street this is, if it's Notch Street or what. Then here it will have the instruction to go down Bone Mill Avenue. So if you look, this is actually, there's no lamps here right now to indicate, but right now the street light is saying red, and then it switches to green, and now it will actually go. So that also prevents carts from interacting with one another and clashing. And then it comes through here and says, okay, I need to go into here. Now it should have one more set of instructions. Actually, it doesn't, because it's the one that defaults back into here. So now it has all of its instructions here, as you can see, and now it's getting all its bone meal. I'm going to just drop some bone meal in, and it will only take a certain amount of bone meal. Okay, there we go. Give it more than enough. So now off it goes. And defaults right. Now it's coming up to another red light, so it's going to stop here. Green light, and off it goes. And it says, okay, I want to go left. I believe it'll go straight. Okay, now it turns right. Then it turns left here. And goes right in. And now all of its instructions are emptied out of it, and it has nothing but bone meal left inside of it. And so it comes up here and then dumps everything out. And then once it has to go again, then it, on its way down, then it will turn this way and get all of its instructions on how to get to where it needs to go. So that's how all the carts know where they are going and how to get back and how to navigate the city. It was a pretty cool idea. I think I haven't seen anyone do that before. I've never seen anyone post any videos about that before. So I might not be the first person to ever think of that. I don't know. If I am, then I'm claiming that I'm the first right now. But that is why having all the street names is necessary, because it's not just fun to name the streets, but it actually is functional. However, I believe there are still 5 streets that I need names. So if you guys have any suggestions for street names, serious suggestions only, Julio, Confucius, behave. So if you have any suggestions for any more street names, then I have 5 more spots, 5 more streets that still need named. But so the street lights, a little bit more about the streets designs here. See, I think this will look pretty cool. My idea is to have horses, and I'll be riding horses, and then all the carts will be riding on the rails. But the street light designs, this is what I've come up with here for this area. I mean, this is like, the bougie meeting area where like the governor meets or whatever, all the elites are there, whatever. So this is kind of more bougie looking. But the streetlights will probably have somewhat of the same design, but maybe different materials or whatever, just to have a different look. But it depends on where they are in the city, depending on what they're going to look like, right? Because I think it's this way. I think it's over here is where I'll end up having, all the apartments starting, and then it's going to go up the the wall of the crater and whatnot, and so you'll have the cities and whatnot. So as you get over here, and it's a little bit more run down, a little bit more industrial or whatever, the street lights might look a little different, a little less fancy or whatever. But I don't know. I kind of like the way this looks. This kind of gives you a good idea on like what the city is going to look like and how it's going to feel. And then, I mean, just imagine carts flying this way and that way. I'll probably have carts moving that are just programmed to move. They'll just go from point A to point B just so that there's always movement happening. But these farms aren't always going to be pushing carts out and whatnot. And so I just want more movement. So I've been really trying to focus on, because there's a lot going on in this world. And so when I build it in survival, there's going to be a lot more going on. So that's why, like I said, with the iron farms here, I took out 3 layers on each side to help with entity lagging. One other thing that I've done is that I took out the old display. So where instead of each pixel was only one lantern, that caused, each one of those was using like 3 to 4 different observers. It was causing a bunch of lag in this area and stuff. So I needed something a little bit more simplified. And so, I don't like it as much. So to show you, like, I don't know, we'll just do quick alpha 1. I went with just the traditional pixel display. I actually had to make the display bigger, and it has less resolution because, like I said, it's using 4 times the amount of redstone lamps to generate the same pixel, to generate 1 pixel. So you can see it's not as pleasing to look at and to read, but it gets the job done. And it is actually relatively fast. Like, it's definitely faster, and it's way less laggy, and it also is way smaller. So you can see the old lines, how the old lines came down around here. This is the outline of where all of this here took up. So all of this here, this is the same as this here coming down and around. It all came over here and had to come over here. Like, that's ridiculous how big it was and how much more laggy it was. So I downsized a lot. I made it faster because it has less distance to go before it gets to all this stuff. So it's just overall better. I don't like the look of the pixels as much, but like I said, it does get the job done. So yeah, kind of sucks, but it lag wise, it improves everything so much better, and time wise, it improves everything so much better. So I think probably the biggest difference that everyone would be able to see if you haven't seen the world in a while is that I actually have all these modules installed to make sure that it's actually surprisingly not all that laggy, even though you look at this and this is an absolute sea of redstone. This is all just solid redstone all the way through, from top to bottom, all the way around. It's so much redstone. I did improve certain design things here, which is kind of, I'm pretty proud of that little design right there, because all these modules will be empty. But if they're empty, then they'll be crying out, saying, hey, low system, low system, low system. So I had to make a way to actually lock that out until it gets items in it. And then next time that it goes down, then it will drop this trapdoor here, break the scaffolding, which then breaks the redstone and the redstone torch, which then will allow it to actually say, hey, I'm actually low now. So it I'm kind of proud of that little design. It's like a temporary lockout mechanism. But yeah, so this is just an absolute sea of redstone. I forget how many modules there are. Quick math. So total modules is 24 times 24, which is 576. However, in the middle here, I cut out 12, so minus 12 is 564 modules. That's yeah, that's a lot. This is going to take forever in a day to build and survival, but I'm kind of excited to tackle that. But it's not very laggy at all, and it works. It's all functional. Yeah, this is all set up and ready to go. Now this down here, oh, you can't see too much of it. I can't show you. I can't show you. That's a whole separate video just in and of itself. Anything that you see that is marked with orange wool, that is all. Oh, can't show you. Can't show you. That is all. A separate video. I'm gonna have to make a whole separate video for that system there. Part of it is replacing the maintenance system. I'll give you that much. But yeah, this is an absolute sea of redstone, but it works, and I absolutely love it. I need 5 more names for streets. I also need to figure out a name for the actual city. However, for the system down here, I finally found a name for it. Hold on, let's get all the way down here. You ready for it? So this is a world item management system, right? This is meant to manage all the items in the world from all the farms, all the stuff that I collect just gets all dumped in here. So it's the world item management system, or WIMS. So I don't know. I kind of like that. So world item management system, aka WIMS, that is its name. However, I need a name for the city. Now this over here though, this will be next video, and it's going to be a video all on its own. It's way complicated. I mean, look at all those buttons. Look at them. There's so many buttons there. What could this be? I'll give you a hint. If this is WIMS, this is the brain of WIMS. But that's for the next video. See ya.